Okay, this is going to be a short and sweet video, I hope. But it was a requested video. So before I even get into this, ladies, I absolutely positively am not going to do femininity content. But a couple of you did ask me to speak on a few things. So what I did is I put together a list of 9 things, right, that women ought to know. Just 9. I'll try to make it 10 if I could pull anything out of the recesses of my soul. And I'm going to try to get through this super quick. So, obviously, my channel is 50% men, 50% women. Men, you can listen to this. You can go off about how I'm not right. No, but this is really for the ladies because this is a requested video. So, I'm doing it early. It'll go to my unlisted playlist. I'm not going to leave it up because it really only benefits women. And so, with the channel that's like half men and half women, it's not going to be for everybody. So, hey, let me get into it. And if my sound gets funny, when I start moving around my mic and things get funny, so just let me know. All right, so here are the 9 things for the ladies that asked me to make this video. I said I would. I know it's been months, but I'm getting around to it. Number 1, hey, Neely, men are elephants. Okay, men are elephants. These men never forget anything. They never forget anything. And it's actually to your detriment. And which brings me to, men who are looking for retribution. Okay? So first of all, a man's never going to forget anything. So if you say something to a man, because men listen to you when they're collecting information, and they barely listen to you or don't listen to you when they're not collecting information. But when men are in information collecting mode, they remember everything you said. Every word that you said, they will call it up in their memory. They can and will use this against you in the court of their law. Okay? Men remember everything. It's really important for you to know this for 2 reasons. And this is number 2, because they remember everything, you will occasionally run into men who are after retribution, right? So maybe they used to be broke. Maybe they were like super, super, super fat. Like you guys know I like a cuddly dude, right? That's my vibe. I don't like muscly men. I like men that are cuddly like teddy bears. But a super, super fat dude, like he was just way too fat, right? Maybe he was really ugly. Maybe he was awkward. Because men are elephants, they not only collect information on you, because men, they only care enough about you to know what they need to do to get what they want from you, right? Or if you're going to be a good mate for them, right? They want to size you up. But they also have long memories that reach back into like their childhood, you guys. Like for real. I can't remember the first little boy that had a crush on me, but men can remember the first chick that they had a crush on. And if they had bad experiences with women early, because men are elephants, it really affects how they maneuver with women in the present. So if you find out that a man has a deep, dark wound from his high school, junior high, high school, college years, you might as well just keep it moving because his long memory will have you paying for whatever he's in his feelings about, you know? Also, don't try to deceive them because, like I said, men have long memories. So you try to lie to them, girl, they remember what you said. Okay. They remember the story you told them. So you might as well just tell the truth. Okay. You might as well just tell the truth. Number 2, Kaylin, I don't know. Have you been drunk the past couple days? Like, honestly, you've been at my channel for a long time, but I can't with you today. Just don't. Okay. Don't. I'm not in the mood. Like, I thought we were cool, but you're moving real weirdly, and I'm just not going to tolerate it. So I'm just letting you know. All right. Number 2, your only job as a woman, your only job as a woman is to move on. is to move on. Your only job as a woman is to move on. You do not make relationships happen. You cannot force a man to want to marry you. You cannot finesse your way into his heart. A man decides if he wants you or not. And if he doesn't want you, girl, there's little to nothing you can do to change that. So a lot of women want to be in a delusion. You think you can finesse it. Maybe if you get him into bed, maybe if you manipulate him, maybe if you do a few tricks, maybe if you change your hairstyle, maybe if you lose 10 pounds. It does not work that way. He either wants you for the long term or he doesn't. He will categorize you and treat you accordingly. So do not try to force anything. You cannot make a man do anything. Your only job is to shake the spot when you realize you're not what he wants. That is your only job as a woman. Your job is not to back him into an emotional corner. Your job is not to ask him, okay, so where do you think this relationship is going? Do you think you want to get married one day? That's not your job, girl. If he wants to marry you or something, he'll let you know. Okay? He will inform you what he wants. And if he has not informed you of anything, that means he doesn't want anything to you. You are a placeholder for him and nothing but a placeholder. And you just need to recognize that. So your only job as a woman is to move on. If you want to be married, if you want to be in a serious relationship, your only job as a woman is to shake the spot when you realize that that's not what he's going to give you. If he wants you like that, a man will let you know. If he's not letting you know, it's because he does not want you like that. And I think as women, a lot of us are in delusion about that. Right? Moving on. The next one that I have for you guys. Hi, Onyx. The next one I have for you guys. So, number one and number two, men are elephants. They don't forget anything, right? So, don't try to deceive them and don't deal with any man that has deep, dark pain from the recesses of his childhood or to high school years because it's not going to bode well for you because they never forget. Number two, don't try to force a man into a relationship. You cannot. There's nothing you can do to force him into a relationship. So don't try, right? He will let you know what he wants. You could be a fool and not listen to him, but that'll be to your detriment. You're going to waste a lot of time. So know when to shake the spot. If he has not informed you that he's going to keep you, you need to know how to shake the spot and not live off a dream. Number three, they do not care about your income. Okay? The only men that care about your income are people who want to build with you. And by build with you, I mean build with you as a partner, right? So if you're looking for a man who is looking for a 50-50 partnership where you and him do the same thing in the relationship, then advertise your income, advertise your education, advertise what you want to do. If you're looking for an investor or a partner, you'll have to move differently. You either have to present yourself as an investor, like I'm coming to invest with you, or you have to present yourself as an investment, right? Do you see the difference? If you are either an investor or you are an investment, does he invest in you or do you guys build together, right? Are you supporting what he's building or are you and him laying bricks together? How you advertise yourself will determine the type of men that you attract. There is nothing wrong. Some women want 50-50, some men want 50-50. If that's not your vibe, then don't advertise yourself as an investor. Advertise yourself as something to be invested in. Yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, this was a requested video. This is not, I wouldn't have made this video, but this was a requested video. Several women requested this, so I just threw it together. Here's the next one. You ask men things. You don't tell men things. Not if you want to be in a relationship with them. You don't tell them things. You ask them things, right? You're not in his life to solve anything. If you have a solution, let me tell you how you word it. You ask about solutions. If you have a solution to a problem, you frame it as a question, okay? Not as an instruction. They do not like to be instructed. So, for example, if you have a solution, you will start your solution off with, do you think da 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 da? Is it a good idea to da 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 da? So you don't tell him what to do. You frame your solution as a question. You are not there to tell him anything. You ask him, okay? Even if you think you know the answer, you better frame your answer as a question, girl. You will get a lot further, okay? Stay in your feminine. It's not your job to instruct. So if you have a suggestion, frame your suggestion as a question, okay? Do you think it's a good idea if we take, 6th Street there? Do you think that might get us there faster? Versus take 6th Street. 6th Street is faster. Okay? Frame your suggestions, your solutions, whatever you have going on, sweetheart, you need to frame it as a question. You are not there to tell things, you are there to ask things. I promise you it would avoid a lot of conflict with your man. He will not find you combative if you know how to ask versus tell. It's a slight change in delivery. You still can say what you want to say, just frame it as a question. I know literally, I know literally that I know literally this is not gonna vibe. All women aren't gonna vibe with this. And that's fine. You don't have to do, I'm just telling you, these are my suggestions, right? These are my suggestions. My next one is make it your pleasure to serve. Okay. This is more question asking. Would you like this? May I do this for you? Do you need this? Right? You're the question lady, okay? You frame your suggestions as questions. You find out what he needs by asking questions. All you have is questions, okay? All you have is questions. Now, what I would say is there's a time, for example, like Mr., you have to, adjust for your man. Everything with me is a question, but Mr. likes a good intellectual conversation. So that's my time where I get to talk without asking questions. But I'm not just walking around my house. Like when you guys hear me, Mr. and I on a live and like we're talking, I don't walk around the house talking like that. I ask questions around the house. And then when it's, have fun with Mr. talking politics and philosophy time, then I get to assert myself. But I just don't go asserting my opinions around my house, right? I assert my opinions at the time that he finds it stimulating for me to assert my opinions. Otherwise, I frame my opinions as questions, okay? And then he can provide an answer. And then we keep order amongst us. So make it your pleasure to serve. Do you want this? Do you need this? If you walk into a room and your man is in the room, ask him if he wants something. You wander in the room, do you need more water? Are you hungry? Do you want me to turn on the light? Turn off the light? Do you want me to open the window? Find a question to ask him of something that you can do for him. Don't enter a room with your man and don't have a question for him about something that he needs. Just ask. All right. If you enter a room with him in it or with his friends in it, you offer all them something. It's a very simple thing. All right. You see your man's face, you offer him something. I mean, you can offer more erotic things if you want, but you better offer something, right? Offer something when you step in the room. I mean, it's not that much work. How much work is it? If you walk in the room, so I'll give you guys an example, okay? I'll give you guys an example. Kaylin, these are all examples of love. Don't get on my nerves today. Because you really tried me yesterday, and I don't, I'm telling you right now, I don't even feel like dealing with you. Right? We have a long history of a positive relationship. I don't know if you're smoking drugs. I don't know if you're drunk. I don't know if you've had some kind of crisis in your life. I don't know what your problem is. But we've been cool for a long time, so I'm being real tolerant. But you were at the height of disrespect the last time I saw you, and like I'm only giving you any space based on our history together, right? And you're about to lose that space. Okay, so if you have that much of a problem, you can kick rocks. All right. Yeah, he's gone really weird, right? Like, I don't even know if that's him. I feel like it's somebody pretending to be him. It's like he's become, I don't know what his problem is. Um, so with that said, I want to go to what Zaza said, which is that a lot of work? It's definitely not a lot of work. So, this is what I mean by like it's not a lot of work, right? When Mr. is working, right? So everybody's telecommuting. I will just wander upstairs and try to get like a hug or a kiss. Do you know what I mean? And then I'll just say, do you want any water? Do you want a snack? I mean, what's a lot of work about that? It's just a simple thing that you can do. It's just being considerate and loving and nurturing, right? Which should come naturally to us as women. But for a lot of us women, maybe we didn't grow up in an environment where we were able to observe a woman who was constantly nurturing, not just toward her children, but a man. So in the same way, I wouldn't go into a kitchen and make myself a meal and not feed my children. I'm not going to be wandering about my house, not seeing if my man needs something. So it's not a lot of work. It's a very simple thing, right? It's respectful as well. It shows that you're thoughtful. But more than anything, you should have a genuine pleasure in doing things for him. Like you should want that, right? You should want it. Just like it's very nice if somebody thinks of you, right? You want him to bring flowers home. You know, I like it when Mr. sends me little gifts. I like opening the door and somebody is delivering me a little gift. It's thoughtful. I don't want him to feel like that's a lot of work. I appreciate it. I like that, right? So we can reciprocate that. We can reciprocate thoughtfulness and caring toward them. And that goes a long way because it's very uncommon for women to do that. And so let's just recap real quick again. Okay, let's go through them again and I'm going to get back on track. Number one, men are elephants. They don't forget anything. So don't be lying to them and all that. When they're collecting information on you, like they're not always listening to us, ladies. Sometimes they tune us out. But if they're collecting information on us, you might as well be truthful because I guarantee he's going to remember. Like when he does listen to you, he's going to remember what you said. Also, they remember hurt and pain. So if you discover that a man was, awkward or had something weird going on with him in junior high, high school, college, you might want to steer clear of that man because he might make your little cute butt pay for everything that everybody ever did to him in the past. Every chick that rejected him, every woman that chose somebody that was not as worthy in his eyes as he was. So just steer clear of those men. Number two, your only job is to move on. You cannot force a man into a relationship. You cannot make a man want to be with you. You cannot give him enough sex. You cannot change your appearance enough. You can't be enough of a pick-me to make a man want you. He's going to either want you for the long term or he's not. Your only job is to leave when he does not indicate that he wants to keep you. Don't ask him, are we going to get married? Would you like to be in a relationship? Girl, if he wants you, he will tell you that you're in a relationship together. Okay? He'll bring the proposal to you. You're not a man. You don't take the proposal to him. If he doesn't propose, anything to you as far as a commitment, a relationship, a marriage, something, then you need to know how to leave. Your only job is to exit stage left when it is clear that things are not going anywhere. Don't sit around hoping, praying, wishing on a dream. Don't do that. Okay. Also, the next one was, I'm just recapping what I already talked about. Don't present yourself as Bob the Builder. Okay. If you advertise your money, your degrees, your intellect, you will attract men who are looking to build with you versus attracting men that are looking to invest in you. So if what you want is an investor so that you guys can invest together and be 50-50, then advertise your income, advertise your education, advertise all your accomplishments. If what you want is to be viewed as an investment, right, then you're not going to advertise those things. All right. You're going to attract what you're advertising for. The next one, and I'm just recapping again because I already talked about all these things. You ask questions, you don't tell men anything. Okay. You don't tell them anything. It's not very feminine to be telling a man anything, to be instructing him in anything. If you have something to share, if you have a solution, a thought, you form it as a question. Okay, do you think this? Is it a good idea if we do that? Right? Not, this is the right thing that you should do. This is what you should do. Not, it's a good idea to do this. You ask, is it a good idea to do this? Do you think? Da 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 da. So frame the things that you would normally tell somebody, frame them as questions. It is a much better way to talk to men because men do not like to feel like you're telling them what to do. So you need to ask, not tell. And then make it your pleasure to serve. So when you enter a room, if you see your man, offer him something. Do you know what I mean? Do you need water? Is there anything I can get for you? Et cetera, right? If it's your husband, you can offer him fellatio. Do you know what I'm saying? Like offer something, girl. Just offer it. And the next one kind of goes hand in hand with that, and it's be a Jill of all trades because Jill is indispensable. Okay? Let him depend on you. So a conversation Mr. had with me today is, I make all the flyers for his events. And one time he even let me do like some video editing for one of his events. And when his video editor that he used, because he didn't use me the next time around, it was messed up. I was like, well, babe, why didn't you let me edit your video? So I asked a question. I didn't say you should have let me edit your video. I said, babe, why didn't you let me edit your video? And he was like, next time I will. Right? Jill of all trades. And so you want to be able to do a multiplicity of things so that you can be an asset to him. And so that the things that he would outsource to other people, he sources to you. Right? And that's going to tie into some other things that I'm going to bring up later about being in making him be invested in having you in his life, right? And being involved in the things that are important to him. So if you're a Jill of all trades, he will allocate things to you, right? He'll allocate things to you. I haven't been in very many relationships because you guys know, like I was married for most of my adult life. So I haven't had many relationships between, Mr. and my first husband. But, it is a high compliment if a man is like, I have some financial stuff I want you to look at. Or, if he's asking your input on business matters, or if he entrusts you with things that are very personal and important to him. So if you're a Jill of all trades and you're capable, he will start to see that you are capable of doing things for him, and he'll start reallocating things he would have outsourced to you. And that starts to make you indispensable, and it ingrains you in his life. So be a Jill of all trades because Jill is indispensable. Okay. All right. So let's let's go over another one. Kaylin, honestly, you must be high. Like, I don't know what's wrong with you, or you've gained some weird obsession. I don't know what's going on with you. I really think that you're on drugs or something, or you've lost your job. I think you've had some kind of decline because you're so out of your own character. It's weird, man. It's actually kind of disturbing. I can't lie. Like, it's borderline looking a little psychopathic between this chat and the earlier chat. So you're looking crazy out here. Like, I say that with love. Um, so the next thing is now, sex is a man's priority. That's his first priority when he meets you. Okay. So keep your legs closed or you're going to get ran through. It's a real simple rule. Don't have sex with a man until you know his true intentions with you. Right? Don't have sex with a man until you learn his true intentions with you. Like men will disagree with this, but the same men that disagree with this are the same men that are going to be talking about women who have a bunch of miles on their vaginas. These are the same men who are going to be talking about, you ran through. So, don't listen to them because their object is to get sex. So they're not going to tell you not to give them sex. Okay. But I'm telling you, don't give your body to anybody because you giving your body to a man is not going to secure him. It won't secure him. That's not going to be what does it. Okay? Because there's many a woman who's amazing in bed who never ever secure a mate. They're alone to this day. Okay? So you can't win a man with your body because all of us have bodies, girl. Okay? I have a body, you have a body, all of us have bodies. We're all working with the same equipment out here. So that's not the move, especially if a man has not given you a long term indication. You don't have a ring on your finger, nothing is going on. Don't do that because men are after sex with women, but men don't value women who have a lot of sex. Do you follow what I'm saying? It's like a double edged sword. They're after it, but if they think you've done it a whole lot, they're not really feeling you like that. So you might as well just keep your miles low and don't waste time with people who are going to kick rocks anyway. Now, I know, in the sexual liberation movement, a lot of women aren't going to be feeling that advice, but just, it just is what it is. I mean, be liberated if you want. I'm just telling you, I don't think it's the best idea to just be having sex with men all over the place like that. Number 8 is, or I guess I'm on number 9 now, is talk less and listen more. All right? Shut up. Shut your mouth. We have too much to say as women. If you're smart, especially when you first meet a man, you'll shut up. First of all, he wants you talking because he's trying to get in your head. Men are not asking you questions because they're so fascinated with you. They're asking you questions to decide what they're going to do with you. Okay? And depending on the type of man that you're dealing with, and I'm going to get to that in a second, he might be asking you questions so that he can peep how he can maneuver you, right? So you need to peep his game. Every man has an MO. Every man has an MO and every man has a way that they talk to women and approach dealing with women, right? So some men play the good guy, right? He's going to be your friend. He might give you little compliments to kind of see how you respond. He might, be a little jokester, make you laugh. And then if he thinks that you're open to it, then he'll make his move, right? That's how some men move. Other men are kind of like, the player pimp type. It always sounds like you're talking to a flippin' poet. They have all these really cool one-liners. You know what I'm saying? Um, they are real quick on their toes. So every man has a way that he approaches women, and once they find something that kind of works, they really stick with it. Okay? So you should be paying attention to that. So you know what kind of man you're dealing with. And why is this important? Because if you never get past their representative, if you never get past their introductory them when they're getting to know and decide what they want to do with a woman, then he's not really feeling you like that. If he never really lets you know him as a person and he only brings his representative to the table every single time you see him, it's because he doesn't take you seriously, girl. So that goes back to we revert to rule number 2, which is your only job is to know when to kick rocks, right? So if you don't get to meet, right? If you don't get to meet anybody that's not his representative, then you need to kick rocks. How do you know that you've met somebody that's not his representative? Um, well, this is tricky because some men are, real reckless, but if you are close to the things that matter to him, his career, right? His business partners, you're meeting their wives and things like that. You're meeting his parents, right? You're meeting his close friends. The things that matter most to him, if he's bringing you in that inner circle, then you're no longer dealing with his representative. If you don't know him really from Adam, except for some vague things that he's telling you, then you need to revert to number 2, which is know when to kick rocks. Because he's placed you somewhere where he's not trying to really have you involved in his life like that because he doesn't trust you. He doesn't think you're worthy. He's worried you might mess something up. Like whatever it is, that's your sign to exit stage left. Like the name of the game is don't waste a ton of time on something that doesn't make sense. So I'll go over all that like one more time. How do you know if a man is using you or truly admires your skill? You don't. Like, we only have control over ourselves. We can only dictate how we move. All you can do is bring your genuine self to the table and try to be the best person you can be and know when to exit stage left, right? It's not using you if you do it willingly. Now, I'm not worried if somebody uses me to make a flyer for them, right? I'm worried if somebody uses me for my sex, though, my body. So that's why you keep your body to yourself. Like it doesn't matter if you don't put anything out there that is too valuable to be taken, then you don't have to worry about being used. The only time a woman has to worry about being used is when she starts putting things like her vagina on the table, right? You start letting people drive your car. When you start doing stupid stuff, then you start feeling used, right? If you keep it feminine, you're not doing stupid things. You're not going too far. So you won't feel used in that case. There's no feeling used in that situation. So I'm gonna go over them again and then I'm gonna get off of here. And then this is just gonna go, if you guys go to my playlist, this will go on my unlisted playlist. So one more time, going through them again. Number 1, your only job is to move. Wait, is that number 1? No. Number 1 is men are elephants. Okay. They do not forget anything. I'm just going through them all again. Men are elephants. They don't forget anything. Okay. When they choose to ask you questions, it's because they're actually tuned in and listening. They don't listen to us all the time, but you better believe when they do listen, they won't forget what you said to them. So be honest, tell the truth, don't move funny, because they'll remember it and they may not call you out on it, but it will affect how they treat you and whether or not they will consider you as an option for a long-term partner. Along the same lines, men are elephants. They do not forget. So if you are reminiscent of somebody or some trauma that they had in junior high, high school, college, if you see that they're, they may have been awkward or, some weirdness was going on there, then just be careful because those men will often hold that against you, even though you have nothing to do with it. So you just want to exit stage left, right? The name of the game is exiting stage left. As women, we don't know. Men know how to walk away from women. We don't seem to know as a collective how to walk away from men. So knowing when to exit stage left is essential. Number 2, your only job is to move on, okay? You cannot make a relationship happen. You cannot sleep with him enough. You cannot do enough things for him. You cannot beg him enough. It is not your position to go up to a man and ask if he's going to propose to you or ask where the relationship is going. Girl, if you have to ask him, then you know the answer. Okay? If you have to ask him, then you know the answer. If you're sitting here pondering, man, well, I wonder what's going to happen with this relationship, that's your answer. Nothing's going to happen. Because if you wanted something to happen, trust and believe men go get what they want. He'll let you know. If he hasn't let you know, he's letting you know. Okay? So your only job is to kick rocks. Your only job is to kick rocks. Like, that's the name of the game. Women, we don't know when to kick rocks. And that's how you end up wasting long periods of time with the same man and not getting anything out of it. That's how you miss out on your opportunities because you keep hoping and praying and thinking you can maneuver and maybe he's going to say it today. No, if he has not chosen you, he has not chosen you. Girl, that's him letting you know. So your only job is to move on. You cannot make a relationship happen. Okay? They're not as hard up to be in a relationship with you as you are to be with them. Women want to be in relationships much more than men want to be in relationships a lot of the time. So you cannot force him to choose you if you're not chosen. So shake the spot, okay? You can't make him do anything. So if he's not moving toward what you are looking for, then you need to just leave and not try to convince him of anything because you can't. The next one is be careful how you advertise yourself, okay? If you advertise your income, your degrees, your intellect, like, don't be stupid. But I'm saying if you lead with those things, right, what you're going to attract are 50-50 men. If you want a 50-50 man, if you want to build, you lay bricks, he lays bricks, then go ahead and lead with those things. If you want to attract men who will invest in you and view you as an investment in the totality of their lives, then don't lead with those things, okay? What you advertise is who's going to answer the advertisement, okay? Whatever you advertise yourself at, guess who's going to answer the advertisement? People looking for that. So make sure your advertisement is going to attract the type of responses that you want, right? So personally, for me, for the type of life I live, the type of life that works for me and my desires, I advertise myself as an investment. Well, I don't advertise myself as anything because y'all know I have Mr. But I'm just saying, if I were back, back in the day and I was on the market, I would advertise myself as an investor, not as a bricklayer, okay? Because I don't lay bricks. Let's see. Number 4, ask questions. Don't tell men anything. Men don't want you to instruct them. They are not looking for mothers. They are not looking for bosses. They are looking for companionship and comfort and softness and a little beauty in their life. and somebody to, help them and take stuff off their plate so they don't have to worry about it. They are not looking for an instructor. This is not school. Okay, so we don't tell men things, we ask them questions. Even if we want to tell them something, we frame it as a question, right? So the examples I gave earlier is like, if you think a better route to the store, is the way you guys should go, you don't tell him, you should take Fifth Street. Fifth Street is great. What you say is, do you think Fifth Street might be faster? Okay, so we do not tell men things, we ask them questions. We frame all the things we want to say to them as a question. They are much more receptive to that than you telling them things. When you start telling them things, it starts to sound like you're being naggy and combative and all of that. Even if that's not your intention, it can come off that way. It comes off as authoritative. And unless you're trying to, wear the pants in the relationship, just ask the question. Like, it's a small change. It's not going to kill you. You still can say what you want to say. You just present it in a way that's more palatable. Um, let's see. The next thing is make it your pleasure to serve him, right? So you should take pleasure in doing kind things for him. So it can be something as little as if you walk in a room, asking him if he'd like anything, do you want a snack? Would you like some water? You know what I'm saying? Just whatever you think of, whatever comes natural to the situation, like be mindful of that. Just make yourself take pleasure in being of service to him. And the next one goes hand in hand with that, which is be a Jill of all trades, because Jill is indispensable, right? So whatever you can do to take that out, like if you see he's overwhelmed, he's got flights to book, he's got, um, a letter that needs to be typed, you take some of that. Say, would you like me to book your flight for you? Can I, type that letter up for you? Would you like me to proofread it? Right? You notice how I framed it as a question, right? And so that allows you, first of all, allows him to allocate things to you, which is trust, right? And then it allows you to bring another level of value to him, right? Remember that sex is a man's first priority, so keep your legs closed, right? Until you know a man's intentions. You having sex with a man is not going to move the bar one way or the other. It's just not going to move it one way or the other. Now, men are going to disagree with this because they want to have sex with you, right? So they're not going to tell you to not have sex with them. That would be counterproductive, right? But don't, because for all the men who tell you, like, I'm not going to be with the woman if I'm not getting it and da 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 da, these are the same exact men who don't want anybody who's ran through, who don't want anybody who slept with a bunch of people and all that. So on one hand, they're like, they're not going to be with you if they don't get the sex. On the other hand, if you're giving out sex, they're not going to want to be with you because you gave too much out. So girl, just keep your legs closed, because you can't move the bar. Having sex with him is not going to make him wife you. That's not what's going to happen. So you might as well keep your legs closed until you know what the deal is. All right. Um, let's see. The next one is talk less and listen more. Like, as women, we always want to be heard. We always want to talk, but it's really important to listen, because a man will tell you a lot by what he says. You'll figure out where you stand with him. You know, you'll figure out how he moves with women. You have to peep his game. You have to know what's going on. You have to know who you're dealing with. If you're running your mouth, you're not going to know. All right. You'll be in a relationship with yourself, girl. You'll think up a whole story in your own head. He's never said nothing to you about marriage, about taking trips with you, about spending money on you, about, starting a family with you. He's never said a word, but because your mouth is always running and you're caught up in your own mental fantasy, you will be wasting your time and you won't know when to kick rocks. So we have to shut our mouths as women and start to listen, because what a man says will say a lot, but what he's not saying to you will say more. Let me repeat that. What a man does not say says more than what he's going to actually say to you. So if you stop talking, you can hear what he is saying as well as what is being omitted from the things that are coming out of his mouth. And a lot of times you have to pay more attention to what a man is not saying to you than what a man is saying to you. Because that, my friend, is really going to be an indicator of number two, which is knowing when to kick rocks. Like, that's your only job. Your only job is to be feminine and to know when to kick rocks. If you are feminine and you know when to go, because women get too invested long-term in relationships, then you'll be fine. And so you guys requested this video. You can agree, you can disagree. That is fine. I'm just telling you from my personal experience. And so, people can say I'm wrong or anything like that, but all I know is that, I have my, what did they say? I've secured the bag, right? So I could be wrong, but I definitely I know what Mr. tells me, right? And I know that the men that are surrounding him think that I'm a very good catch, right? And to me, that is a compliment. And I like that other men come to my man and that they're saying to him, they're coming to Mr. and they're saying to him, yes, she's a good one, right? Like, they don't make them like that anymore. Like, that's a compliment to me, right? When one man who has a wife steps to another man and lets him know, I head nod at your choice too, that is a compliment to you as a woman. So, don't listen to me if you don't want to, right? Everybody live your life the way you want. Feel free to disagree. I can only speak as to what my personal experience is, but also remember that I am also a traditionalist, right? So your relationship can look different. I am a very traditional type of woman. I like a traditional relationship. I'm not comfortable in it, in any other type of dynamic. So, I mean, I call Mr. Mr. Okay, so that's my vibe. Your vibe might be different. So these things may not work for you because perhaps, service and that level of submission and femininity is not going to work for you. Perhaps you need to be able to have sex. You can't abstain. Like, so a lot of things that I am saying may not apply to some of you as individuals because your blueprint for life could be different from my blueprint for life. And that's fine, right? So, anyway, with that said, with that said, I'm going to shake the spot. I'm going to put this on my unlisted playlist. I'm not going to be doing videos like this all the time. Several ladies asked me if I would do it both on this channel and over on my vlog channel. So because so many of you guys asked me to do it, I did it. This is not my vibe though. Like, these type of videos aren't like really my thing. I think I've made like maybe 3 of them since I've been on YouTube. This might be the 3rd video. And I think I did an interview over at African Diaspora News, like on a similar topic, like about the type of men a woman should submit to. But like, as a rule, just exclusively talking about this is not really my vibe. But, I was happy to do it since you guys asked. So anyway, if you want to see it, I'll make sure that I put it in my community tab, but it's going to go unlisted, but I will save it to my unlisted playlist. And now I am going to shake the spot. But those of you who caught it, the early bird gets the worm. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Why can't you find the shows from a few days ago? Like the power one? You can go to my unlisted playlist. Wait, what are you talking about? Are you talking about on the memberships page? Are you talking about like a live that I did out here for everybody? 5. If you're talking about the one that you were on, then go to my playlist. You know how you can go to like the different tabs, like the community tab or videos or playlists? If you go to playlist and you go to the unlisted videos playlist, you'll find that video there. Yeah, that's where it is. If you go to the unlisted playlist, you'll find that video on that playlist. Yeah, wait, I know there's a delay, but do you understand what I'm saying? Because I see your comments after you make them, so you might totally understand what I'm saying. Yeah, only my patrons have my email. You don't have to join my Patreon, but you can like I think you can still message me on Patreon. But yeah, only my patrons have my email. And only my some of my members and my patrons have my phone number. But I don't put it out publicly because there's a lot of weirdos in the world. I'm not saying you're a weirdo. I'm just saying there are a lot of weirdos roaming around YouTube. So that's why I don't put my email like in the description box like a lot of people do because I don't even want to be bogged down with like crazy people trying to email me and stuff. All right, so anyway, I am going to get out of here and I will talk to you guys later.